Bluegill fishing during the summer is super fun. And not only that, but it keeps your casting in shape for those trips to, like, when you go out to Montana to go trout fishing, or when you want to go to the driftless in Wisconsin. Is that, see the triangle body on it? It allows the bluegill not to suck it into their mouths all the way. I'm Megan Berns, and I am the co-founder of Flygirls of the Midwest, along with Evelyn Adams, and I'm president currently of Northern Illinois Fly Tires, and I'm here to talk about fishing for bluegill on the fly. Urban fishing, you can do it anywhere there's a pond, even in your own backyard. This is typical of the type of ponds that I fish. As you can see, the houses in the background and the lily pads. And this is kind of the environment that you're going to be in. It's basically shore fishing. It's a lot of what I do. The good thing about this, and this is the point that, nobody's really talked about that I want to really hit home, is that bluegill fishing during the summer is super fun. And not only that, but it keeps your casting in shape for those trips to, like, when you go out to Montana to go trout fishing, or when you want to go to the driftless in Wisconsin. These once a year trips, this you can do in your own backyard every evening after work or before work if you like. Now, you have to be careful. There's some tall weeds that normally are around these ponds, so you have to be careful with how you have to fish. You have to really watch your backcast to make sure that your fly line doesn't snag in these trees behind you. The other thing is that I wanted to talk a little bit about safety. You really want to be using a hat that's got some sort of a brim, so that way if you have any slack in your line or coming forward with your back cast, you don't hook your ear by mistake. Or, especially fishing in this type of brush, if your fly line gets snagged on any of these weeds, it can do bad things to you. So, and you want to make sure that you have glasses on it, polarized glasses on as well during this. This is an example of a micro popper. Now, these are available in all kinds of colors. They come in yellow with red spots. They come in all white. All white is my favorite. The bluegill seem to really like the all white. And this is a size 18, so it's really small. I should have put a dime next to it to show you how big it is. I'm going to tie this on with a open loop knot. It gives a little more action in the water. And how you want to fish this is that you want to cast it out and let it land. And then I normally do 2 quick strips forward and then let it pause in the water. And that's normally when the bluegill get curious and come up and will actually sip it right off the top of the surface. That's how a bluegill takes a micro popper. You can see it in its mouth. And it wasn't able to fully inhale the fly, so that's a good thing. It makes it for an easier catch and release. And you want to make sure that you smash your barbs down on all your hooks as well. Even though these are only bluegill, a lot of people kind of take them for granted, that they can be out of water and they can do, all these things. But you should really keep your fish wet and make sure that they're released safe to throw for a bigger day. This is a foam spider with an indicator. Legs are also do the trick. This one here, there's a better chance of the fish taking it in a little deeper, so you want to be careful to really watch your fly out in the water. Make sure that you pull up on your rod tip as soon as the fish hits the fly to avoid that issue. See, as you can tell, versus the micro popper that you could fully see the fly on the fish mouth. This one here, this is the green spider that was taken, and it's completely inside this fish's mouth. It was released to swim another day, so it wasn't a problem, but you just have to be careful and be mindful of what you're doing. Now, this is a triangle fly that Darwin Adams tied. It's a fly that you can find the recipe for on YouTube, but what's good about this fly is that, see the triangle body on it? It allows the bluegill not to suck it into their mouths all the way. It's a very effective fly, and you can always trim these legs back a little bit depending on, what you see the fish biting on. You can trim them back. See how this is a fish that was taken on the triangle fly, and makes for an extremely easy catch and release. This was taken at one of our fly casting days, our spring tune-up days, we call it. And you can see everybody fly fishing around the pond. So it is possible to get in there. Everybody caught fish that day. But this gives you some ideas of the obstacles you're going to face. Keep fish wet. This is Evelyn Adams with a fake fish demonstrating how not to display your catch and release. Keep fish wet no matter what the species. This one here we took just for fun, but you really need to be careful and make sure you keep your fish wet, even if it is just a bluegill. The type of rod sizes, I wanted to talk a little bit about that, though we've already kind of covered that. You do need to be mindful of what kind of fish are in the ponds that you're going to be fishing, because a lot of the ponds not only have bluegill, but they also have bass, as was mentioned before. So even though you could use logically a 1 or 2 weight fly rod or even a 3 weight fly rod for bluegill, you know, a 4 to a 6 weight fly rod is probably better, because in case you get a hold of one of those bass, you don't want to break your rod and you want to be able to land the fish in a timely manner.
Because those are some spiny little guys. I've never caught a bluegill. So when you catch them, are you usually netting them and just trying to use like some pliers or some kind of hook removal to get rid of them? Because those look sharp.
They're very sharp. What you do is you use your hand and you stroke the top dorsal fin down, and you hold them that way to remove the hooks, and that'll avoid you from getting one of those barbs from their fin in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You just kind of stroke them back to hold them gently.
So like from like the front of the head back.
Right. You stroke it back. That's how you hold them.
Awesome. So we got a question from Bill. He hasn't seen a triangle fly before. How does it move in the water?
It moves a little bit like a popper in the water. It's a surface fly. It's made out of foam and marabou for the tail with the spider legs. So it's a surface fly. And you would act the same way. You strip it a couple of times and let it pause, and strip it and pause, strip, pause. That's how you move it through the water, but it's very effective. Flygirls of the Midwest and Nifty, Northern Illinois Fly Tires.
How can they get more information on your group?
All I have to do is check out our Facebook page. It's open to all women. We do different events in the Midwest, and we do a spring tune-up every year. We start with the basics, and then we run through the FFI bronze and gold medal awards and see if anybody can do that.
All right. Well, Megan, thanks so much for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, thank you. Sorry, I got tripped up a little bit. I was nervous.
Oh, you did great. Thank you.